everyone, I hope you all doing well. So today I want to talk about something really important, self-love. It's something we all hear about, but honestly, a lot of people struggle with it. We're constantly told who we should be, how we should look, and what we need to achieve to be considered enough, and that pressure makes it really hard to accept ourselves as we are. But the truth is, self-love isn't about being perfect or always feeling great, it's about how you treat yourself even on the tough days. It's about setting boundaries, showing yourself kindness, and realizing that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinions. In this episode, I want to break down what self-love really means, talk about the ways it can completely change your life, and share simple ways to start practicing it every day. So whether you're just starting this journey or need a reminder that you deserve love, especially from yourself, let's get into it. Self-love is not selfish. A lot of people mistake self-love for arrogance or putting themselves above others, but that's not the case at all. Loving yourself simply means recognizing your own worth and taking care of your mental and emotional well-being. When you prioritize self-love, you're actually in a better position to support and care for others because you're not constantly seeking validation or approval from outside sources. It allows you to build healthy relationships, make better decisions, and create boundaries that protect your energy. The more you embrace self-love, the more you understand that it's not about excluding others, it's about making sure you show up in the world as your best self. When you love yourself, you naturally radiate confidence and positivity that can inspire and uplift those around you. Instead of draining yourself to please everyone, you learn to balance your own needs with those of others, knowing that you can give love more freely when your own cup is full. Self-love also helps you recognize unhealthy patterns and relationships. It enables you to walk away from situations that no longer serve you because you know you deserve better. By loving yourself, you set a standard for how others should treat you. People often take cues from how you treat yourself, and when you respect and value yourself, it teaches others to do the same. So, instead of thinking that self-love means putting yourself first in a way that harms others, think of it as creating a foundation that allows you to be your happiest, most fulfilled self. In turn, this makes you better at everything else, whether it's relationships, work, or simply how you show up in the world. At the end of the day, self-love is about treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and compassion that you would give to someone you care about deeply. That kind of love is never selfish, it's essential. Self-love is not about perfection, yet many people mistakenly believe that they must reach a certain level of success, beauty, or achievement before they can truly love themselves. This mindset often leads to a cycle of self-criticism, where individuals feel like they are never quite good enough because they haven't met their own unrealistic expectations. The truth is, perfection is an illusion. No one is flawless, and chasing perfection only leads to unnecessary stress, disappointment, and self-doubt. Self-love is about embracing who you are in this very moment, not just who you aspire to be in the future. When you set the expectation that self-love is conditional, meaning you'll love yourself only when you reach a certain milestone or fix every perceived flaw, you deprive yourself of the kindness and compassion you deserve right now. Growth and improvement are natural and healthy, but they should not be prerequisites for self-acceptance. Loving yourself means recognizing your strengths while acknowledging your weaknesses without judgment. It means understanding that mistakes are part of learning and that failure does not define your worth. Imagine if you only allowed yourself to love and respect a friend when they had everything figured out, never made mistakes, and always looked perfect. That would be unfair and unrealistic, right? Yet, so many people hold themselves to this impossible standard. The reality is that true self-love is about supporting yourself through the highs and lows of life, celebrating your victories while also showing yourself grace during your struggles. It means treating yourself with patience, just as you would a loved one who is going through a rough time. Self-love also involves recognizing that you don't need to constantly prove your worth to others or change who you are to gain approval. It is about believing that you are enough exactly as you are. There will always be things you can improve, challenges to overcome, and goals to reach, but none of that determines your value. Your worth is inherent, and embracing self-love allows you to fully appreciate yourself without waiting for some external validation. So, instead of striving for perfection, strive for self-acceptance. Accept the parts of yourself that are still growing, forgive yourself for past mistakes, and recognize that you are worthy of love in every phase of your journey. The more you practice this, the more you will develop confidence, inner peace, and the ability to navigate life with a sense of self-assurance that doesn't depend on being flawless. Okay, listen, setting boundaries is a huge part of self-love. It's about making sure you protect your energy, time, and mental well-being instead of just going along with what everyone else wants. A lot of times, people feel guilty about saying no or stepping away from situations that don't serve them, but the truth is, setting boundaries is necessary. If you're constantly putting other people's needs above your own, you'll end up exhausted, overwhelmed, and honestly, resentful. It's not selfish to say, "Hey, I can't do this right now," or "I need space." It's actually one of the healthiest things you can do for yourself. When you set boundaries, you're showing yourself respect. You're telling yourself, and others, that your feelings matter, your well-being matters, and that you won't allow people to drain you just because they expect you to always be available. Sure, some people might not like it at first, especially if they're used to you saying yes to everything or putting them first. But that's not your problem. The right people will understand and respect your boundaries, and the ones who don't? Well, maybe it's time to rethink those relationships. At the end of the day, self-love isn't just about treating yourself to nice things or saying positive affirmations, it's about making real choices that protect your peace. And boundaries? They're one of the strongest ways to do that. You deserve relationships that feel good, spaces that uplift you, and the freedom to choose what's best for you without guilt. Saying no is one of the most powerful forms of self-love because it allows you to prioritize your needs, protect your time, and honor your well-being without guilt. Many people feel pressured to say yes to everything, whether it's social events, work requests, or favors for others, because they don't want to disappoint people or seem rude. But constantly saying yes when you really want to say no can lead to exhaustion, resentment, and neglecting your own needs. Self-love means understanding that your time and energy are valuable, and you don't have to stretch yourself thin to make others happy. Saying no is not selfish, it's necessary. When you start setting boundaries and turning down things that don't serve you, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and create space for the things that genuinely matter to you. At first, it might feel uncomfortable to say no, especially if you're used to always putting others first. But the more you practice it, the more you realize that people who truly respect you will understand. You are not responsible for managing other people's emotions when you set a boundary. Prioritizing your well-being doesn't mean you care less about others, it just means you care about yourself too. So, whether it's saying no to an invitation, declining extra work that you don't have the capacity for, or simply refusing to engage in negativity, remember that your time and energy are yours to manage. You deserve to live a life that feels balanced and fulfilling, and sometimes, the best way to do that is by confidently saying no. Self-love improves mental health because it shifts the way you see yourself and how you handle challenges. When you genuinely love yourself, you create a foundation for emotional stability, making it easier to deal with stress, setbacks, and self-doubt. Many people struggle with negative self-talk, anxiety, and feelings of inadequacy because they don't practice self-compassion. But when you approach life with self-love, you replace criticism with kindness and develop resilience that helps you navigate difficult moments. One of the biggest ways self-love strengthens mental health is by reducing anxiety. When you stop placing unrealistic expectations on yourself and allow room for imperfection, you free yourself from constant worry about failure or judgment. Instead of overanalyzing every mistake, you learn to forgive yourself and move forward. Self-love teaches you that your worth isn't tied to success or how others perceive you, it's something that exists regardless of circumstances. Another important aspect is how self-love influences emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will always come, but when you have a strong foundation of self-acceptance, you handle difficulties with more confidence. You no longer let rejection or criticism shake your self-esteem because you know that setbacks do not define your value. Instead, you learn to view challenges as opportunities to grow rather than reasons to feel unworthy. Self-love also helps with mindfulness and self-care. When you value yourself, you prioritize your well-being, whether that means taking time for rest, choosing relationships that uplift you, or simply being intentional about the way you speak to yourself. Your mental health improves when you recognize that you deserve peace, happiness, and understanding. Ultimately, self-love is about creating an internal environment that supports you rather than tears you down. It allows you to feel secure, confident, and emotionally balanced, making it easier to navigate life without being consumed by negativity. The more you practice self-love, the more you develop a sense of inner peace and stability that strengthens your overall mental well-being. Positive affirmations can reshape your mindset because the way you talk to yourself directly influences your confidence, emotions, and overall outlook on life. Many people struggle with negative self-talk, constantly doubting themselves, focusing on their flaws, or repeating limiting beliefs they've picked up over time. But when you intentionally replace those negative thoughts with positive affirmations, you gradually rewire your brain to think more optimistically and build self-love. Affirmations are powerful because your mind responds to repetition. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, you start to believe it, even if it's not true. But if you start affirming statements like, "I am capable," "I am worthy of love," or "I deserve happiness," you begin to shift the way you see yourself. Over time, these positive messages become ingrained in your subconscious, helping you develop a stronger, healthier mindset. Self-love affirmations help boost confidence and motivation. When you remind yourself daily that you are valuable and deserving of success, you're more likely to take actions that align with that belief. Instead of hesitating or holding yourself back out of fear, you start to feel empowered to go after opportunities and trust yourself. Affirmations also play a big role in managing stress and anxiety. When life gets difficult, repeating calming and reassuring affirmations can help ground you and reduce overwhelming emotions. Statements like, "I can handle this," or "I am resilient," reinforce your ability to navigate challenges with strength. The key to making affirmations effective is consistency. Saying them once won't magically change your mindset, but making them a daily habit, whether spoken aloud, written down, or even used as reminders on your phone, gradually transforms the way you see yourself and your potential. The words you speak to yourself matter, so choosing positive affirmations is a simple yet powerful way to strengthen self-love. Self-care is more than pampering, it's about making daily choices that support your well-being. A lot of people associate self-care with things like spa days, buying themselves nice things, or taking long vacations. While those can be great ways to recharge, self-care isn't just about indulgence, it's about consistently taking actions that nurture your physical, mental, and emotional health. True self-care is setting boundaries when something feels draining, making sure you get enough rest, and eating foods that nourish your body. It's checking in with yourself, acknowledging how you feel, and taking steps to reduce stress rather than ignoring it. Self-care can be as simple as stepping away from negativity, giving yourself permission to slow down, or even choosing to say no when you're overwhelmed. It's also about being intentional with your time. A big part of self-care is doing things that actually make you feel good in the long run, not just in the moment. For example, scrolling on your phone for hours might feel like an escape, but does it actually help you feel refreshed? Sometimes real self-care is getting outside for fresh air, journaling, calling a friend, or doing something creative that brings you joy. Self-love and self-care go hand in hand. When you prioritize yourself, you send the message that your well-being matters. And when you consistently take care of yourself, even in small ways, you start to feel more balanced, happier, and emotionally secure. So instead of thinking of self-care as a once-in-a-while treat, see it as something you deserve every day. Forgiving yourself is crucial because holding on to guilt and regret only weighs you down and prevents growth. So many people replay their mistakes over and over in their minds, punishing themselves for things they wish they had done differently. But self-love means acknowledging your flaws, learning from past experiences, and allowing yourself to move forward instead of getting stuck in a cycle of self-criticism. Nobody is perfect, and making mistakes is simply part of life. Instead of being harsh on yourself, try shifting your perspective. What did you learn from the situation? How can you use that lesson to make better choices in the future? Forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring responsibility, but it does mean releasing unnecessary shame. You don't need to carry the weight of every mistake forever. Self-forgiveness also helps improve mental and emotional well-being. When you let go of guilt, you free yourself from negativity and anxiety. You create space for self-acceptance and growth, allowing yourself to be human. Holding on to past regrets doesn't change the past, but forgiving yourself lets you create a better future. The truth is, you deserve the same kindness and understanding that you would give to a friend. If someone you cared about made a mistake, you wouldn't want them to endlessly suffer over it. You'd encourage them to move forward. So why not offer yourself that same grace? Forgiving yourself is not about pretending mistakes didn't happen, it's about choosing to grow from them and recognizing that you are still worthy of love, happiness, and peace. Comparison is toxic because it takes away your ability to appreciate your own unique journey. It's so easy to look at other people's successes, appearances, or lifestyles and feel like you're falling behind or not good enough. Social media makes this even worse. Seeing curated highlights of someone else's life can make you question your own accomplishments. But the truth is, everyone's path is different, and constantly comparing yourself to others only brings unnecessary stress, doubt, and negativity. Self-love means recognizing your own strengths and appreciating where you are right now, instead of measuring yourself against someone else's timeline. The energy you spend comparing yourself could be used to focus on your own goals, growth, and happiness. The reality is that no one has a perfect life, even if it looks that way from the outside. Everyone has struggles, insecurities, and setbacks. You're not alone in that. Instead of seeing someone else's success as proof that you're lacking, remind yourself that your journey is just as valuable. There is no single right way to succeed or be happy, and what works for someone else might not be what's best for you. When you stop comparing, you start appreciating your own unique qualities. You focus on what makes you happy, rather than what society or other people say should make you happy. Self-love is about embracing your own progress, no matter how small, and recognizing that you are worthy exactly as you are. The only person you need to compare yourself to is the version of you from yesterday. Keep growing for yourself, not to meet an unrealistic standard set by someone else. Social media can distort self-worth because it often creates unrealistic standards for success, beauty, and happiness. Every day, people scroll through carefully curated posts, pictures edited to perfection, achievements shared without struggles, and lives that seem flawless. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to these idealized images and feeling like you're not doing enough or that you don't measure up. But the truth is, social media is not an accurate representation of reality. People only share what they want others to see, the highlights, the victories, the best moments. What's often hidden are the challenges, insecurities, and setbacks that everyone experiences. When you compare yourself to someone's online presence, you're comparing your full, unfiltered life to someone else's most polished version, and that's never a fair comparison. Self-love means recognizing that your worth is not determined by how many likes, comments, or followers you have. It's not about fitting into social media's version of perfection, it's about being authentic, embracing your unique journey, and focusing on what truly matters to you. A healthy way to navigate social media is to be mindful of how it makes you feel. If certain accounts or content leave you feeling inadequate, it's okay to unfollow them or take breaks from scrolling. Instead, try to engage with uplifting and supportive spaces that encourage positivity rather than comparison. Your value isn't tied to an online presence. Real happiness comes from within, and when you practice self-love, you stop seeking validation from social media and start appreciating yourself for who you truly are, not just how you appear online. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. If you constantly put yourself down, accept disrespect, or ignore your own needs, people around you might assume that's okay. But when you practice self-love, set boundaries, and treat yourself with kindness and respect, you naturally teach others to do the same. When you value yourself, you create a standard for how you expect to be treated. You won't tolerate toxic relationships, disrespect, or situations that drain your energy. Instead, you surround yourself with people who appreciate and uplift you. Self-love isn't just about feeling good, it's about setting clear expectations for how you deserve to be treated in all areas of life, whether it's friendships, work, or personal relationships. If you allow negative self-talk to consume you, or if you constantly minimize your worth, others may unconsciously follow that lead. But when you confidently express your needs, stand up for yourself, and treat yourself with care, people see that and respond with respect. Self-love builds confidence, and confidence shapes the way you interact with the world. When you believe you are worthy of kindness, respect, and happiness, you start making choices that reflect that belief, and others will too. So, if you ever wonder why people treat you a certain way, take a moment to check in with how you treat yourself first. The relationship you have with yourself sets the foundation for every other relationship in your life. Self-love builds confidence because it teaches you to trust yourself and recognize your worth. When you truly love yourself, you stop seeking approval from others and start believing in your own abilities, choices, and strengths. Confidence doesn't come from external validation, it comes from within, and self-love is the key to developing it. When you practice self-love, you learn to embrace your imperfections instead of letting them define you. You stop focusing on what you lack and start appreciating what makes you unique. This shift in perspective allows you to walk into any situation with self-assurance, knowing that your value isn't tied to anyone else's expectations. Self-love also helps you handle criticism and setbacks with resilience. Instead of doubting yourself when things don't go as planned, you trust that you are capable of growth and learning. You don't let failures make you feel small, you see them as stepping stones toward personal improvement. Confidence built on self-love allows you to set boundaries, speak up for yourself, and go after your goals without fear. You begin to make decisions that align with your happiness, knowing that you deserve success, respect, and fulfillment. The more you love yourself, the stronger your belief in yourself becomes, and that confidence radiates in everything you do. Healthy relationships start with self-love because the way you treat yourself sets the foundation for how you connect with others. When you truly love and respect yourself, you attract relationships that reflect that same energy, ones that uplift, support, and bring positivity into your life. Without self-love, it's easy to fall into unhealthy dynamics. You might tolerate disrespect, ignore red flags, or settle for less than you deserve because deep down, you don't believe you're worthy of better. But when you recognize your own value, you stop accepting relationships that drain you and instead build ones that align with your well-being. Self-love also helps you communicate more openly and set boundaries without guilt. You know your needs matter, and you're not afraid to express them. When you love yourself, you don't rely on others to complete you, you bring your own confidence, stability, and joy into the relationship, making it healthier and more fulfilling. At its core, self-love teaches you that you are already whole, and when you embrace that, you cultivate relationships that enhance your life rather than define your happiness. The strongest connections come from people who love themselves first because they are able to give love from a place of abundance rather than insecurity. The best relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself, and nurturing that relationship is the key to lasting happiness and fulfillment. Many people spend their lives seeking love, validation, and acceptance from others, but the truth is, the most important source of love comes from within. When you prioritize self-love, you build a deep sense of confidence and inner peace that doesn't rely on external factors. You don't need someone else to complete you, you are already whole. This means that whether you're in a relationship or single, whether people praise you or criticize you, your self-worth remains strong because it's rooted in how you see yourself, not in how others perceive you. Self-love allows you to enjoy your own company, trust yourself, and make choices that align with your happiness. It helps you set boundaries, walk away from negativity, and embrace opportunities that support your well-being. The more you cultivate this relationship with yourself, the more empowered you become to live authentically, free from the need for constant validation. The way you love yourself sets the foundation for every other connection in your life. When you treat yourself with kindness, respect, and patience, you naturally attract relationships that reflect that same energy. And when you fully embrace self-love, you realize that no relationship, romantic, friendship, or otherwise, can give you what you are not willing to give yourself first. So, invest in the relationship you have with yourself. Take care of your mental and emotional well-being, celebrate your growth, and remind yourself daily that you are enough, exactly as you are. When you master self-love, every other aspect of life becomes richer and more fulfilling. In conclusion, self-love is the foundation of a fulfilling and empowered life. It's not about arrogance or perfection, it's about recognizing your worth, embracing your flaws, and treating yourself with the same kindness and respect you give to others. When you prioritize self-love, you build confidence, set healthy boundaries, and cultivate relationships that reflect the value you place on yourself. Loving yourself means choosing growth over self-criticism, self-care over exhaustion, and authenticity over external validation. It strengthens your mental health, helps you navigate challenges with resilience, and reminds you that you are enough exactly as you are. At the end of the day, the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. When you nurture that relationship, you create a life where happiness, self-respect, and inner peace are not just goals, but daily realities. So, choose to love yourself, unapologetically and wholeheartedly, because you deserve nothing less.